This is a lesson on how to write an essay. You may recall from a previous lesson on paragraph writing that a paragraph consists of 5 sentences. First, an introductory sentence that tells you what the paragraph is about. Then 1, 2, 3 detailed sentences that explain or support the introductory sentence. And finally, a clincher sentence that summarizes the paragraph. In much the same way that it takes 5 sentences to make a paragraph, it takes 5 paragraphs to make an essay. First, an introductory paragraph tells you what the essay is about. Then 1, 2, 3 detailed paragraphs that explain or support each detail in the introductory paragraph. And finally, a clincher paragraph that summarizes the essay. This is the paragraph we created in the video, How to Write a Paragraph. Let's see how we can turn it into an essay. We begin turning this paragraph into an essay by using it as an introductory paragraph. An introductory paragraph lets the reader know the topic of your essay and what details you will be covering. In essence, it becomes the blueprint for the rest of the essay. Look at the 3 details in the introductory paragraph. Each one will become the topic sentence for each of the next 3 paragraphs. We are taking each detailed sentence and using it to write a detailed paragraph. So the first detailed paragraph will be about the many different flavors of ice cream. The second detailed paragraph will be about how ice cream cools you off. And the third detailed paragraph will be about the different ways you can serve ice cream. Now let's write the first detailed paragraph, which will be about the many different flavors of ice cream. However, we don't want to copy the detailed sentence exactly, so we rephrase it. For example, we can write, "There are many different kinds of ice cream," to introduce the first detailed paragraph. Now we must write 3 detailed sentences that explain or support the idea that there are many different kinds of ice cream. Here are 3 detailed sentences, all of which support the topic of this paragraph. Finally, we write the clincher. As you know from previous lessons, the clincher summarizes the paragraph, usually by restating the topic sentence. In this case, restating the idea that there are many different flavors of ice cream. Using the introductory paragraph as a guide, the next paragraph should be about how ice cream can cool you off. However, this is an example of a detailed sentence that is too narrow in scope to become the topic of a whole paragraph. It was fine as a detail in the first paragraph, but there's just not enough we can say about how ice cream cools you off. Can you think of 3 sentences that can explain how ice cream cools you off? If we were writing about water, we could write about how we cool off by drinking it, by swimming in it, or by sprinkling it on ourselves. But that isn't true of ice cream. There just doesn't seem to be enough we can say about it. So we need to think of another reason that ice cream is a great treat, a reason that is broad enough that we can write a whole paragraph about it. Too many students don't realize that writing is a process that involves constant assessment and revision. In the process of writing, the eraser end of a pencil is just as important as the writing end. So now we must think of another reason ice cream is a great treat, and make it the second detailed sentence in the first paragraph, and the topic of our second detailed paragraph. Perhaps we can write about the ready availability of ice cream. It will be easier to write a paragraph that supports or explains how ice cream can be bought in many different places. As we did in the first detailed paragraph, we paraphrase the idea to make it the topic of the next paragraph. Instead of repeating the sentence, "It is readily available," we can restate the idea as, "You can buy ice cream in many places." Because the topic sentence is now broader, it becomes easy to write 3 details supporting the idea that you can get ice cream from many different places. Once again, the clincher echoes the topic sentence in the paragraph. The third detail in the introductory paragraph is about the many different ways you can serve ice cream. This detail is broad enough to become the topic of the next paragraph. First, we state the same idea in a different way and make it the topic sentence of the third detailed paragraph. Then we write 3 sentences that explain or support the main idea that you can eat ice cream in many different ways. Finally, we write a clincher that sums up the main idea of this paragraph. In much the same way that each paragraph ends with a summary sentence, each essay ends with a summary paragraph. In writing this paragraph, it is helpful to refer back to the introductory paragraph. Just as the introductory paragraph explains the topic of the essay and the points you will cover, the clincher paragraph will review the topic and points that you have covered. And so we begin the clincher paragraph by restating the idea that ice cream is a great treat. Then we restate the first, second, and third reasons that were discussed in our essay. The clincher for this final paragraph is also the clincher for the entire essay. It will reiterate the main idea of the entire essay, which in this case is how terrific ice cream is. You might decide that the clincher in the introductory paragraph is stronger or more interesting than the clincher in the final paragraph, in which case you may want to switch them. Remember, writing is a constant process of reviewing and revising. So now your essay is complete. It has an introductory paragraph, 3 detailed paragraphs, and a summary paragraph. As you become more proficient in your writing, and as your essay topics become more complex, you will have more detailed sentences in your paragraphs, and more detailed paragraphs in your essays. But the general structure will remain the same. And always remember to review and revise. Following is a song I wrote that may help you remember the steps in writing an essay. Introduce the topic in a general way. Next, you add 3 details of what you want to say. Then you write a clincher, put this sentence last. Now you have just completed your first paragraph. If you want an essay, you must write some more. Look at the 3 details that you wrote before. Make each one the topic of a paragraph. Then write 3 details each and add the clinchers last. Summarize your topic in a general way. Then restate main details of what you've had to say. Write the clincher for your final paragraph. Congratulate yourself, your essay's done at last.